Hello everybody and welcome back. This is episode number 22 of the Vanarama YouTube's Football Manager 2018 experiment. Celtic and Rangers in England. Obviously starting with Vanarama, working their way to where they are, right now in 2028, season number 11. And last time we left Celtic bottom of the league. Now Celtic are off the bottom, merely on goal difference, but it's a small turn in the right direction. They've still only won 3 games. They beat Tottenham. They've managed to take 5 points from Tottenham. Well, no, Celtic have had 4, but they've taken away 5 points from Tottenham. And that 5 points is the difference between them being in the title race and being in 6th place, basically. So at least they're having a bad impact on one of the big 6, but... So they've managed to get some reputable draws. I mean, they've drawn away to Everton, they've drawn away at Arsenal, they've drawn away at Tottenham. But, like I say, the 13 losses away to Wolves, who were in the relegation battle with them. You know, they need to be winning these games. They need to be turning some of them draws into wins, like Southampton and Burnley and Watford are teams they should be looking to beat. Wolves, so twice now they've played against Wolves and they've dropped a lot of points. Where if they'd have managed to win one of them games, it'd be the whole thing could be a lot different. I mean, they got to find some points and quick. And the only way they're going to do that is with reinforcements, I think. So let's have a little look at what business they've done. They've done nothing. Whether they've got nothing left in the kitty or what, I don't know. But so Celtic have done nothing to try and save themselves. Except Wolford got sacked, so they've now got Eddie Howe. Now, finally, they've gone and got an actual manager. Eddie Howe, that's a really good appointment for them. Because he's got a history of a proper managerial history here. You know, Bournemouth, Everton, Bournemouth, Watford, Celtic, a track record, of doing well with clubs. So now, they finally made the right choice on the manager. That's great. It's really good to see. Finally got a good manager. So, will Eddie Howe steer them out of relegation and keep them in the Premier League? Because if Rangers turn up and leapfrog them, then that will be possibly the worst season in Celtic history. Quite easily. So there we go. Eddie Howe is the manager. Now there's a glimmer of hope. My prediction is that Eddie will steer them out of this mess. So, what about Celtic's arch rivals Rangers? Let's have a little look on their progress in the Championship. The last time we saw them, they were in 4th place and looking good for a playoff spot, possibly with the right kind of business. They could possibly look at finishing in the top 2. Let's go over and have a look at what they're doing. So Rangers, they're still in 4th and still going strong, as you can see, but it looks as though 2nd place might be a bit too far for them, but they're maintaining their position. They're 5 points, so they're secure by 5 points in the playoffs, so no reason why they can't keep this going, I feel. I think that they could possibly finish in a playoff spot, and then, with a bit of luck, they'll go on and win that playoffs. But like I say, there's still a lot of games left, even though Hull have got a game in hand, still a lot of time for them to potentially catch them 2 up and pip them to one of them spots. But we'll have to wait and see what kind of business have they done. That's the important part. So now they brought in another 4 players, and looking at the price tags on them, I wouldn't have thought the 4 players are going to make a lot of difference this season. An 18-year-old centre midfielder from Ross County. This guy might make a difference at left wing. 26-year-old Polish guy, left winger, yep. Alan Williams from Liverpool, an 18-year-old centre-back. And David Orr, a 26-year-old goalkeeper, possibly a backup goalkeeper, from Motherwell. So there's that. Have they allowed any big players to go? Unfortunately, Jacob Aniyawu, who is their top scorer and the top scorer of the division, they've allowed to go for just 14.25 million. They should have reinvested that money. That could cost them. That's the only thing that could potentially cost them on this. I think they've made good money this season. possibly preparing for life in the Premier League because they need all the money they can get to get the players in to keep them up there. But I don't know. I think they may have shot themselves in the foot a little bit by allowing him to go on deadline day. But let's have a quick look at the schedule because they are in the FA Cup. So they are doing well in the FA Cup even. They're now in the 5th round, but they're going to be playing at home to Hull, which they'll see that as winnable because they're in the same division. So the potential quarter-final appearance for Rangers in the FA Cup. It's a good thing because, well, against Fleetwood you're not going to get many, against Gillingham you're not going to get many people turning up, but against Hull I'd imagine that'll be a packed house to see them push on for a quarter-final appearance. We didn't look at Celtic's cup run. I don't think the cup run is as important to them, but we'll have a little look at it at the end of the season. So talking of the end of the season, I think that's exactly where we're going to go. I think we'll have a little look at all of the sort of player stats and look at the Scottish League right at the end, I think now. So we'll briefly go over them, but I think the most important thing is let's get this season over with and see if Celtic stay up and see if Rangers go up. I shall see you. Well, let me have a quick look at when the playoff final is meant to be. I wonder if there's a way of the schedule. Right. So the playoff final is on the 27th of May. I'm going to simulate it to the 27th of May, just so if Rangers have made the playoff final, we can watch it like we did with Celtic last season. So hang on, guys. We could have another match on the go here. Let's see. I'll take you guys there right now. Okay then, guys, we're on the 27th of May. The bad news here is Celtic have gone down, unfortunately. They went down by 6 points, only winning another 3 games since we last saw them, losing 20 games in total. As you can see, losing 3-0 against West Brom, losing 2-0 against Wolves, losing 2-1 against Watford, who were the teams around them. Watford managed to save themselves just about, but there's no way Celtic should have gone down. They went up with a really good team. They're coming down with a really good team. I just don't get it. Why can't they stay in that bloody division? They've got a good team there. They've got a good manager now. Looking on the main screen is saying that his job is insecure. I wouldn't sack him because he's the type of manager that will get them back into the Premier League. So next time around, maybe. But the bad news for Celtic, which is the good news for the neutral viewers who are rooting for both teams, we do have a playoff final to watch. Rangers are in the playoff final, so I'm going to take you to that now. Okay then, guys, we've clicked to attend this Crystal Palace versus Rangers playoff final. So here we go. This is going to be the team. Obviously, Rangers, we'll see what league position they actually finished in. But we'll have a look at it now. Obviously, they're out on the pitch at Wembley now. Let's see if Rangers can make it. So Rangers looking like, well, it's pretty even at the moment actually. See, Rangers had a couple of early chances off target, but here comes the first highlight, and it's over. Let's just have a little look at these settings just to make sure we have got it on key highlights, no replays. Yeah, all good. Remember, it's still the same from when we did it for Celtic last season. So Rangers edging it slightly at the moment. They're starting to come into the game a little bit more, but they need to get their shots on target. So it looks as though Celtic are living to the prediction I had for them. Rangers are exceeding the prediction I had for them though. Bottom end Championship, top end League One. They could now be a Premier League team at the end of this. But the half-time score is 0-0, of course. But Rangers are the better team, as you can see by the stats right in front of you now. Oh, just over. So the clock is ticking. They're making their subs and everything. Who's going to be the one to succeed in this one? Oh, and Palace have got the lead in the 75th minute. And all of Rangers' dominance in this game will be for nothing if they can't get back into it now. Oh, just wide from the Korean. And it looks like it's heartache for Rangers. Even though they have absolutely dominated this game. Is there a last chance for them? That could have been a free kick there, I think. But no, that's going to be it. That's it. Rangers fail to make it to the Premier League, so they'll be in the same division as Celtic. Celtic fans will obviously be extremely delighted to see the scenes right there. Obviously, if you're a Rangers fan, the opportunity to have leapfrogged Celtic in this experiment has gone begging, unfortunately. But that's 2 games you guys have got to see, 2 playoff finals. I'll always make sure we get these kind of games in. I might even try and throw in a show of highlights from Old Firm games if it's possible. But there we go then, guys. Rangers fail to make it to the Premier League, but they certainly got a good team behind them. Celtic have got a good team behind them. I'm predicting Celtic Rangers top 2 for next season. We'll see. But we'll go and look at some player stats now. So lack of individual brilliance is always something I always find is associated with. Is always sort of associated with a team's downfall. If you're lacking that individual brilliance, I mean, obviously looking at the average ratings, a relegated team isn't going to have anybody in there, but could Celtic get in amongst the goals? No. Probably a bit pointless looking at this, to be honest with you. Assists. Well, one player, Callum Hudson-Odoi, I think that's how you're going to pronounce that one. He managed to get 8 assists, so one little bit of individual stat to rave about maybe, but the fact is you went down, you're not going to rave about anything at all. But then no, Celtic didn't have any individual players who excelled this season, and that's the game winners. That's where you get your individual brilliance from. It's the game winners. And Celtic, unfortunately, didn't have game winners. They drew too many, they lost too many, and obviously you win 8 games. How many games did they actually win all season? They won 6 games out of 38. They absolutely deserved to go down. They lost 20. You lose 20 out of 38, you're going down. If they could have converted 4 of them draws into wins, so they drew 8, won 10, they'd have stayed up. Stayed up by a couple of points. There's that cutting edge. I mean, you look at some of these, they lost quite a few games by the odd goal, as you can see. And that is maybe a defender who maybe made an individual error. Maybe it's a goalkeeper letting in too many goals. Whether it's strikers not getting a consistent run of goals. Who knows? But Celtic have got to invest in this squad a little bit more. And a lot of their players look a little bit older. They're going to have to get some fresh blood into that squad. Now, let's go and have a look at the Championship, where I think you'll see a much brighter picture from the Rangers individuals. So, average rating, where is it here? So, quite surprisingly, Rangers didn't have anybody who excelled in the average rating charts, except, Dave Burgess. I missed him out there, he was 12th. I think for Rangers to have, they could have got promoted because they were the better team in the playoff final. They just missed out, unfortunately. But if they can bring in 1 or 2 more top quality players, I think they'll finish top 2. Goals. Selling Jacob Anyau, would he have won that playoff final for them with the chances that they had? Possibly. that could be the thing that stopped them getting in the Premier League, allowing him to go. And for the money they got for him, it was poor. They should have got a lot more for him. Assists. So Jack Grealish doing well at 32. Maybe a couple of seasons left in him. Maybe he will see the Premier League again. And then, last team conceded, we're looking at goalkeepers. So the least amount of goals conceded. Maybe Rangers need to get a better keeper. And that's the one thing Celtic need as well, because they sold their main keeper. If they had kept him, I think they'd have stayed up. So, Bailey, Peacock, Farrell, 9 clean sheets, but still conceded quite a lot of goals. Didn't make the top 20 on the least conceded. But there we go. That's that then, guys. Let's go and have a little look at how things are going in the Scottish League. So Gateshead have managed to keep their place in the Premiership. I don't think they've really stayed up before, have they? Let's have a look at the stages league table. Yeah, so Gateshead finished 11th, but stay in the division. Falkirk went down. Hibs have reclaimed the title. Dundee, was it Dundee United who won it? Finished in 3rd. So how did Dundee United get on in the Champions League this season? I'm guessing not too well. So the Champions playoff. They made it to the groups. So they'll have their bank account full of money, even though they managed to beat Galatasaray, they managed to draw at Porto, and they drew against Napoli. Did that get them into? Yeah, it did. It got them into. They went out to Lyon in the first knockout round of the UEFA Cup. So that's not a bad European season there for Dundee United. They got it to the Champions League groups. I'd imagine now that they got secure finances. So these Champions League appearances is what's pulling the money in for these lower Scottish teams now. Hibs won the league by 12 points. It's a way to get it back. So the Hibs got through to the Euro groups and won a lot of games. They got through the knockout round. They must have, yes, where they went through. They beat Mold. The second round they went out to Sevilla. Well, and the thing is, only lost both games 1-0 in each. So that's decent. That is, they've obviously done quite well for themselves. Did Aberdeen make it to Europe? They did. They got to the groups, but they looked like they had a bit of a bad time of it in this group, and naturally they didn't go through. Well. But looking at this, there's 2 Champions League spots now, and 3 UEFA Cup spots. So they're doing well enough to maintain. They're maintaining what Rangers and Celtic had got for them through doing well in Europe. So they're doing well, these Scottish teams are, without Rangers and Celtic. That's quite surprising. Gateshead are doing well. Let's have a little look at Barrow, because Barrow were in the Ladbrokes Championship. Let's see how they got on. So Barrow, unfortunately, finished 2nd in the Ladbrokes Championship. So for the promotion playoff, if Barrow finished 2nd, where were they in the playoff? They went out to Hamilton there in the second round. That's a messed up playoff system, really, isn't it? It's a promotion playoff. So Hamilton went through to the relegation playoff, and then there's a semi-final. Oh no, that's the relegation out of the championship. Sorry, Ladbrokes Premiership final. So Hamilton went through to play against the team that finished bottom but won. Right, no, I get it now. That's fine. So Barrow had a good season. Gateshead had a decent season to stay up. Will Gateshead build on that and actually become a permanent fixture in the Ladbrokes Premiership? Will Barrow follow them next season after having a good season this one? Remains to be seen. But also what remains to be seen is the future of Celtic and Rangers. Celtic are down with Rangers. Rangers losing in the playoff final. Really unluckily because they were the better team. Both of them have good teams now. Both of them know that they can push on, and they've got the resource behind them. Can they both make a push to the Premier League together next season? That is what I'm going to do. And if they do get into the Premier League, I'm going to do a couple of seasons in the Premier League before I say, yeah, I think that's experiment over. But yeah, we got a few seasons left in this for sure. So guys, I will see you next time. Thanks all for watching. That's season 11 over with. My God, we're getting through these, aren't we? Season 11 done. Season 12 to come very soon. Thank you all, and until next time, cheerio for now.